Hi, thank you for tuning in to High Heels and Destiny. I am your host, Naranda. Today I have a panelist of women that's here today to talk about the truth of single, married, and divorce. I will allow the ladies to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Clara. I'm 24. I'm a behavioral aide at Ultimate Health, and I have one child.
I'm Tawan. I am a 37-year-old mother of four. I've been married for 15 years, and I currently work for the Mobile Police Department Traffic Division.
Hi, my name is Maria. I am 40 years old. I have two sons, and I'm divorced. Oh, and I'm an attorney.
Hi, my name is Latasha. I am a single mother of a 9-year-old boy, and I'm 32, and I am a credit repair specialist.
Hello, my name is Vinzetta. I'm 38 years old and I work for the State Department.
Hi, my name is Kendra. I've been divorced for 5 years. I'm a mother of three. I'm a deputy at the shelter.
Thank you, ladies, just for being here today. I appreciate it, and thank you guys for introducing yourself. I'm going to jump right into it today. Okay, so LeClaire, what do you do in your singleness while waiting for your husband?
I would say being able to take care of yourself and learning what you like. I think that is extremely important before you jump into any form of relationship or commitment with someone. Because if you go into something with someone and you don't know you're gonna mess that person up.
Right.
And I would say self-care comes with traveling. It comes with learning how to take care of your body, learning what you like to eat. If you have children, learning how to just interact with other people, learning how to interact with your children. Just really learning you is the first thing that I would say, and probably the most important thing that I would say you should do before you jump into a relationship, because it will definitely end detrimentally, because you evolve and you just never know how you are or how you would be, or what you would do as you evolve. So but when you learn your patterns and your behavior, and all those things that would definitely change over time.
Okay. Latasha, what about you?
Well, for me, I work on deepening my relationship with God, because when I deepen my relationship with Him, He showed me, He give me this, like, you need to be building this. Girl, start a business, start a blog, do this, stay busy, And when you look up, if I got Him for you, He'll show up while you doing you, making sure you got something going on. So.
And I think that's very important, because, like me, when I was single, building a relationship with God was one of the most important things that I did, because I think sometimes as women, we skip the most important component, which is God. We go from relationship to relationship and not even giving ourselves the time to even heal and to see what can we do better, what can we take away. So I do agree with you ladies that just finding that place within yourself and God is a great place to go. Tawan, tell me, what is the truth about marriage? Because now in today's society, I think that people base marriage off of social media and Lifetime TV. What is the truth about marriage?
The truth about marriage is what you make it. It comes with communication, and with the communication, it's not just about talking. It's about being able to talk and the other person listen, and you're both able to come to an agreement or understanding to where it works for both of you. It's not a battle of power. You have to find a common ground to where both you guys can be successful in your marriage. So it's just not in a relationship. As far as in social media, everybody has relationship goals. Not knowing that relationship you're idolizing can be terrible at home behind closed doors. So the best thing for you to do is do what works for you and what makes you happy. So I think, to me, that's what kind of the truth about marriage.
Great answer. And Vinzetta, what about you? I know you're newlywed. You just got married.
I just got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just got married on May 25th. So I don't know how beneficial my response would be because I'm still in my we're still honeymooning. But I would say the truth about marriage is, I'll kind of piggyback on what she said. Definitely communication is key. It's important that you communicate with one another. It's also important that you make sure that before you're married, that it's someone who you're compatible with. Where it's something that you both have in common that you can kind of enjoy together. I think that's a good starting point. So communication, being able to laugh at each other, being able to agree to disagree sometimes. You know what I mean? You're not going to agree on everything, but you know, sometimes it's going to be some type of compromise. But you can still be happy in that compromise as long as the spouse is also compromising as well. Okay. As long as you're both kind of giving and taking, I think that makes a successful marriage.
And I've been married 6 years, and my truth about marriage is that marriage is nothing that it's nothing like on TV. It's being able, once the honeymoon stage wear off, really being able to still love that person, still being able to love that person when you go through ups and downs. There's times when you want to walk away, and it's not always perfect. It's not like, you know, every day you come home, it's like, hey honey, I'm home. It's not gonna always be like that. It's gonna be times you want to walk away. It's gonna be times that you want to give up, and you just be like, you know what did I get myself into? But for me, I can say, like, just really asking God to give me the strength, because I feel like it's been the strength of God that have gotten me to this place in 6 years of marriage. So I think, you know, having God in it or whatever, and just know that it's not what you see on Lifetime. It's like, it's truth. It's like, it's not none of that stuff. Maria, what does healing look like after a divorce?
Ooh, should have gave me these questions before.
What
does healing look like? For me, I would say surrender. And for me as a Christian, that's surrender to God. Surrender to whatever state you're in at that moment. Not necessarily trying to go and rehearse the past. I had to get to a place where I wasn't rehearsing the past to try to see how I could fix it, but rehearsing the past just to remember the good and to figure out the lessons. But for a while, it was sort of like a rehashing of the past. What did I do wrong? Is there anything that I can do in the present to fix that? But moving past trying to fix the past and just taking the past taking it for its good memories and taking it for the lessons that you were able to learn about yourself and what got you to the place that you are. So I think that's what it is. It's just surrendering to where you are at the time.
Really good response. What about you, Kendra?
Okay, it's like a learning stage. You learn from what you've been through, and it's a peace of mind, and you learn when you need time to yourself when you have a divorce, time to get with God, you know, and yeah, and be just learn who you are first. It starts with self,
Right.
and you're comfortable with yourself, and you're okay.
Okay. So ladies, this is the questions to all you guys. What are the do's and don'ts of being single preparing for marriage? LeClaire.
The do's and don'ts? That is a very interesting question. Simply because everyone is their own individual selves, and everyone doesn't have the same preference. So I don't think there's a really specific response to that, considering that, like I said, everyone has a different preference.
Okay.
And they have a different agenda as far as what they want to do in their singleness, what they want to do preparing for a relationship, what they want to do, when they get into a relationship. For instance, me personally, I would say my do's and don'ts specifically was to, one, don't date. Don't date was one of my specific don'ts, because I was very specific about what I wanted to do, and I did not want to cross into temptations to do things outside of what my own agenda was. My do was to learn me and learn what I like as far as traveling. I travel a lot. Learning new dishes, spas, learning to take care of me and making myself happy first. That was my do. But I don't think there's a specific do and don't, because like I said, everybody has their own life, their own way of doing things.
And what about you, Latasha?
For me, my do's and don'ts, as far as being a Christian woman, I don't date everybody because it's easy to catch feelings, it's easy to get attached, and once you get attached, it's kind of hard to let go, and you'll take it too far. So I don't date everybody. And some dudes, I try to stay in tune with God. I'm not saying I'm always in tune, but I try. And I just like she said, I just get to know me, do some things that I like to do. Travel, raise my son, learn new food, new hobbies, build my business, build an income for myself, in my single season, so that when I am married, I don't push him around.
Well, what about you, Kendra?
Well, my dues are get money and stay happy, keep the peace, get to know new people. It's okay to get to know new people. Don't let a lot of bad, people have bad spirits, so don't let a lot of negative energy come in your positive energy. So just do things that make you happy, hobbies, go out, have fun.
Okay. LeClaire, what are the top 3 qualities you want a mate to bring to the table?
Just 3?
Only 3. Only 3. You're keep it short and simple.
Okay, 1. I love for God first and foremost. When a man loves God, he gonna love me. And the Holy Spirit will teach him how to love you. Secondly, financial literacy.
Yeah.
I cannot express it enough. And then 2, just under the financial literacy, financial responsible. But someone who's kind. I would say that would be my 3rd one. Of course, I do have more, but when you're kind, it just opens that compassion and just the byproducts of everything else up under that, just being kind to, or being a kind person in general. So I would just keep that as my 3.
Okay.
Because I could.
Okay. To 1, as a married woman, how often do you compromise your happiness for a successful marriage?
I don't know. I think that'll be a question my husband will have to answer. I'm not sure. But I think it's a 50-50 mix of both parties. Give and take, to kind of make everything happy for each other. Like I said, it's not a power struggle, so it's a 50-50 thing. We kind of just share it. So I would say 50% of the time we'll compromise.
Okay.
I would probably, I'm new in marriage, but I would probably say about the same, because there's give and take, and there's some things that he may not necessarily want to do because of love, he'll go ahead and do it, and I'll do the same thing because of love, and you know what, you actually end up enjoying it sometimes, even though you may not have initially wanted to partake in it. So
Okay.
that give and take, I say 50-50.
Okay. Maria, who or what do you blame for your divorce?
Who or what? Who? Us? The 2 people that were in it. Do you want me to expound? I think that's. I would blame us. I will speak from my perspective.
Okay.
And from my perspective, one of the things that I believe that I have learned since this process is that I fell into a place, again, as a Christian, understanding that maybe everyone who's looking at this is not a Christian, but as a Christian, I forgot that head of the house doesn't mean head of your life.
Right.
And what that means to me is that God was still the head of my life, but I kept trying to filter everything through my husband at the time. All of my highs, all of my lows, everything went through him. And I think that it was just too much pressure for a human. I couldn't bear everything, and to try to place that burden on somebody else was just not a good expectation. But having reflected and having allowed for God to show me sort of how things went wrong, I would say number 1 from my part was not leaving God out, but not placing him foremost. So what I would probably recommend for people is that whatever's going on, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whatever's going on, to filter it through God first, and then allow for God to unite the two people back together versus just trying to, communicate and just struggle with each other. There's a need for another party to come in sometimes. Whether that party is God, a spiritual party, whether it's another person to help you with that. So I would definitely say that I blame us, but I can only speak to what I think was probably my primary issue, and that was that I just didn't understand how to be a child of God and a wife at the same time at the time.
Are you open to marriage over again?
So I actually was asked that question before the panel started, and I'm gonna say generally yes. Again, as a Christian, I do believe that you need to search scripture and that you need to understand what marriage is. It is a covenant, and regardless of what the legalities are, once you have committed and have a motivation in your heart to marry somebody, it's not something that you should easily let go of. I mean, I think that there are specific things in the Word of God that says whether you should or should not divorce. But being on the other side of divorce at this point, do I believe in remarriage? Yes, I do, but I believe that it is truly God's love, His grace, and His mercy that will allow for you to. Because in the Word, God doesn't speak a lot about remarriage unless your significant other passes away.
Right.
He doesn't talk a lot about remarriage.
Right.
And so in places where God isn't specific, I think that it has to do with His grace and His mercy and His love for you, and what He has for your life.
So how do you feel as far as remarriage? Like, because, when I read the Bible, and if I got the right understanding, it says that you're not able to remarry unless that person dies.
So, okay, and I know this is not church, but I'm a Christian, and I read the Word and I try to study it. And so the reason why I say that it's God's grace that allows it is because He doesn't really speak about remarriage after divorce. When looking at a divorce from a biblical perspective, God intended for you not to, period. I mean, you made your decision, you're going to lay in your bed.
Right.
But because people were doing things that were violating the covenant of marriage, He allowed for divorce. And so when you, so to the extent that that divorce is allowed, if you take that option, then I think it depends on what God has called you to in terms of remarriage. Does that answer? Does that answer your question?
So what about you, Kendra? Witter, who did you blame for your divorce?
Well, I don't put blame on anyone because we all make mistakes. I suggest that you get to know a person well before you get into that marriage state, and so you can be compatible. See if you're compatible, like be compatible. So
Okay. So, Latasha, if infidelity presented itself in your relationship or marriage, how would you handle it?
I don't know. I just have to pray long and hard about it. Like,
What about you, Witter?
Well, you know what, I recently spoke with my grandmother about it. Someone was experiencing the same thing in their particular relationship, and I was talking to her about it. And she touched my hand. She said, So from her perspective, and me reflecting on what she said, I would try my best to forgive him. I don't know if I would be able to stay in a relationship or not. I don't know. But hopefully I will forgive him, and hopefully we can move on past it.
What about you, Tim?
see God, and they don't answer.
LaClaire.
It's hard to answer. It really is. I used to say, mistakes happen, or people do make decisions that aren't healthy, and I could forgive. But as I've gotten older, I teeter-totter against the forgiveness because my belief with forgiveness is if I cannot forgive it, if I cannot forget it, I can't forgive it. And because forgiveness for me comes with forgetfulness. That means I'm not gonna bring it up no more. That means I'm not gonna do something to counteract, or to be spiteful because you did X, Y, and Z. So my thing is, if you do it, and in my heart or in my mind, I know I'm not gonna I know I'm gonna bring it up. I know I'm not gonna forget it. I cannot forget it, and I wouldn't let it to stay. But if I can do that, then yes, I can. But I would have to pray on it.
Release oil and everything.
Check my mantras.
What about you, Maria?
I think that I would probably just say everything that they said. I mean, because speaking back to what the Bible says, I mean, that is one of the reasons that Jesus specifically said that you could divorce, but just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Right.
And so I have come across women who have, and I've come across women who have not. And those are the details where you really do need to understand yourself, and you really do need to chime in on who God has called you to be. And I just really love what LaClaire said. I mean, if you can't let it go, then you need to let him go.
Right.
Because it's just going to continue to come up.
Right. Which is going to cause a dynamic effect of, along with the relationship over the course of time where it's just going to continue to be a big fight. And, men get just, you bringing it up, I said I'm sorry, and it's just going to trickle on to a long, drawn out situation that don't need to be if you could just let him go.
Right. That's a good question. I don't know. Like, it would take God, the Holy Spirit, and everything. It really is going to take some strength for God. If it was me, it really is going to take some strength for God. I'm not going to say what I will and won't do, because it's always easier for, I think, us as people. We be like, oh, if that happened to me, I know what I'm going to do. But in actuality, when something slaps you in the face, you have a whole different outcome. It's always so much easier to say, I'm going to do this and do that. So truthfully, I don't know what I will and won't do. But I always hear people say pray before it happens. So something I think will be good is if infidelity never happened in your relationship or marriage, don't wait for it to happen to pray about it. Go ahead and start praying about it ahead of time and say, just rebuking it and just asking God to not allow it to come in your relationship or whatever. So yeah, those were some great answers, you guys. LaClaire, does social media make you feel obligated to be in a relationship?
This is a Christian. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I have enjoyed my singleness. True enough, I am dating someone now. And I have been single for 3 years until I just decided to just give somebody a chance. I truly enjoy doing what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, not having to tell nobody I was doing it, and not having to take someone else into consideration. So actually, me being in a relationship is really, really hard. It's hard. Like, it's hard for me because I have been single for so long. So being on social media, and I am an IG freak. So I be on Instagram and see all the relationship goals, and I love them, but I ain't in no rush.
What about you, Latasha?
Sometimes, yeah. And I'm not gonna say I haven't met anybody on social media, but God come and shut it down real quick. And so, but yeah, and when I feel myself, getting into that particular, those thought patterns and idolizing a relationship because of social media, I just take a pass from it.
Okay.
For a while, maybe like a week or two or something, and then I have a clear head when I get back on.
And I think also too, like, they're very important because I cross so many females and they get so caught in social media, the perfect pictures, but you don't know what she had to do to get in to take that picture. You don't know what happened before they take that picture. So all that stuff look great, but you don't really know what happened behind the scenes. So you can't get so caught up. We all got our own lane, and when you merge into somebody else's lane, you hit somebody. So you can't get caught up on what's going on this person, that person's lives, or whatever the case may be. You just have to stay in your own line because everything that's shining gold.
I would like to piggyback on what she said. Have your own relationship goals.
Yeah.
You are your relationship goals. You are your relationship goals in your singleness. You're your relationship goals in your marriage. You're your relationship goals in your dating life. You set your own goals for you and your partner, you yourself by yourself, and be it.
Girl, you as a single woman, take yourself out. Like, we act
I
like
used
there's
to
something
date
wrong with
myself.
that.
Yeah. Take yourself out.
Take yourself out. Get dressed and take yourself out.
And you know, you guys, something I will say, when I was single, the best experience ever is just falling in love with yourself.
Right,
That is just
yes.
a feeling that is just so amazing. Just coming home and like when I was single, I would take me a bubble bath and put on me something cute. I didn't need a man to be there for me to put on Victoria's Secrets or to smell good. Like to fall in love with yourself is the best feeling ever, because if you can't fall in love with yourself, then you don't want that man to come, and then you expect for him to fill in all the blanks that you should have filled out. You know, so falling in love with yourself is the best experience you have, and it's the best thing that you can bring into a relationship, because if you don't have those components, and then you get into a relationship, you want him to fill the blanks, and then when the relationship doesn't work, then everything is his fault. It's his fault that it doesn't work, but maybe it was your fault that it didn't work. You know, ladies. So, to one, how far are you willing to fight for your marriage?
Oh, the hell in that. I love my husband. I really do. Like I said, he get on my nerves sometimes, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's good. That's good. Witter?
Yeah, basically the same answer. Yeah, I'm just really grateful to God and thankful to God for where we are, and and I just thank God for Him bringing us together, and it's been great. I'm just really thankful. That's all I can say. I'm just thankful. I hope it continues.
That's good. Maria, at what point in your marriage did you decide it was time for a divorce, and why?
Well, I did not. That was not my decision. It was, you said earlier, sometimes things just slap you in the face. And honestly, it was a very sort of, oh, okay. So yeah, it wasn't my decision. I'm one of those people who does not give up easily. And I'm one of those people who takes responsibility. And so when I decided to marry, that was what I decided to do. But along the way, what I would say is that I had to get to a place to accept the other person's perspective, to accept what the other person wanted to do at that time. And I think that was probably something that I needed to learn, that everything is not going to necessarily work out the way you want it to work out. And all you can do is the best that you can at the time and keep moving forward.
Okay, ladies, so as a woman, what do you imagine to be your ideal relationship or marriage?
Starting with me, I love laughing. I really do. And I think if you have a person that you can have fun with and that can make you laugh, and I'm very adventurous too. And it's very adventurous for me. That is my ideal relationship. Somebody on top of, just our relationship with Christ. Being able to pray and read the Word of God, and incorporate that into our traditions and our legacy and generational wealth with our children, and also being a blessing to somebody else with our relationship. Right. If someone can look at my family and say, that's a beautiful family, or even on terms of relationship goals, if somebody can say, I want what y'all have, and being real about what we have, that is my ideal relationship for me. But mainly just being able to have fun with my partner.
Right.
I think if you busy having fun and you learning each other, you ain't got time for other stuff.
Right. What about you, Tawani?
I kind of agree with her as far as that. Having fun, having a sense of humor. I'm big on love, respect, compassion, loyalty. I need it all. I need to have a relationship with me, a relationship with God, understanding, commitment. I want the whole 9 yards. I don't want the 50%. I want the 100%. You give me 100, I'll give you 100.
Okay. Maria?
I don't know that I have anything really extra to add. I mean, I really do think they answered it. I really think they answered that question.
Okay. So, ladies, we're wrapping it on up. So, if you can leave a piece of you here today to be a blessing to someone else, what would you leave, starting with LeClaire?
For me, mental health is important. When you take care of your mental health, so much about your life falls into place or changes. And I say that meaning, I don't care who's in your life, I don't care what stress they cause, I don't care the dynamics of their relationship, I don't care what they do for you or who they are. If they are not bringing you health, they're not bringing any value to your life, get rid of them. I really do mean that. Because when you, and a lot of people like to, especially women, we like to focus on, oh, I'm crazy, and that's not healthy. You know, and especially when it's just on the terms of relationships, when you cannot focus, or when you're only focused on every move this person's making and how you can control them and what you cannot change anybody. You can only change you. And I say this all the time. You are only responsible for you. You know, and no one else is responsible for your feelings. You know, the only thing that you or anyone else can be responsible for is how you influence that. That's it. But make sure your mental health is important. And whatever you got to do, seek help, seek therapy, go to counseling. You know, do yoga, meditate, pray. Whatever it is you got to do to focus on your mental health, especially in terms of relationship, because they will drive you crazy. They will. You know, do that. You know, and I say that's really, really important. You know, it's easy to say, just pray about it. It really, as much as we advocate relationship with Christ, it is easy to just say, just pray about it. You know, fast about it, whatever. Seek help still. You know, seek the help that you need to make sure you are healthy in every way. Because when your mental health is off, everything else about your body, from your digestive system to how you eat, you know, how you move, your sleep patterns, all that becomes affected when your mental health is not up to par. That's it.
So on.
I would just say, love yourself and always stay true.
Well,
I would say don't allow yourself to be in isolation. If you want a relationship, if you're in a relationship, then don't isolate it. Of course, maybe in the beginning stages, it might just be you and that other person. But I think that if you're looking for something more long term, then you should put yourself in a position to understand their background, like who's their family, who are their friends, because people can be one way when it's just a relationship between you all, but when you start to bring in other people, then you really get to see, how does this person interact with other people? How is this person as a family member? You know, how is this person as a friend? So I would say, don't allow for your relationship to be isolated from the people that you love and respect, and from the people who love and respect you. If you really think that a relationship is going somewhere, then a community needs to be built. And I think, even going back to what LaClara said, like sometimes we get into this whole mode of pray about it or fast about it or what have you. But even in the Word, it says that if there is conflict, if there's something that's going on, that you should have counsel, that you should have people that are a part of your life to support you. Because when you're dealing with any relationship, friendship or whatever, it's just really challenging if you don't have a support system.
Okay, Tasha.
All right, I would just say, be you. It's okay to be different. God put something inside of you that's meant to change this world. So it's okay to be you. Be who He created you to be. Strive to grow. Strive to be better, but don't try to be like the next person. Just be who you are.
Benzetta.
I would say, get out of your comfort zone. Do something different. There are a lot of good, fun things that you can do to kind of, learn and grow as a person, as an individual. That would make you, more interesting as a person. And, I can say what helped me to get out of my comfort zone, someone encouraged me to go dance. And it was something I never really did, but they advised that I go, they have these dance classes at the recreation center. And she advised that I go to the swing out classes. Well, I never did that. I was kind of like an introvert. And it's kind of like when I got out and I got out of my comfort zone, I started dancing, with people and, learning how to dance. It's almost kind of like doors kind of open, like doors of opportunity just from me getting out of my comfort zone and doing something different. So I would say, do things different, have interests, because interests make you interesting. And I think that helps to make a relationship strong too, when you have other interests outside of your marriage and you bring it all together, and it makes you more interested in as a person. And I think it adds value too, value and character. So,
That was so profound. You said interest make it interesting, and that was really profound. Kendra?
Okay, I will say self-love. You have to love yourself because you can't expect someone else to love you if you don't love yourself. And if you're single, it's okay to date. You know, that's how you get compatibility with different people, so you can get out there, because you're not going to meet anyone if you don't get out there. They can see you. And if you're divorced, I would say, you know, love yourself, go out, you know, do some fun things, hobbies, whatever. If you're married, I suggest, you know, enjoy your husband, have fun, love him, you know, stuff like that. You know, I'm just me. So, I like to have fun, so, you know, that's just me.
Okay. And one thing that I would say, that if I had to leave, it's okay. Like, going through life sometimes, it may seem like things may not get to a place where you feel like, okay, this person's life is going like this, that person's life is going, and your life feel like a hump and a bump and a hump and a bump. But in those hump and bumps, there is blessing, there is greatness in those humps and bumps. Because I personally went through a lot of humps and bumps when everybody else was just, it seemed like the path was so paved for them, where my life was just going through humps and bumps and humps and bumps. But God have used those humps and bumps to get me to the place that I am now, so that I can be a blessing to you ladies and to other ladies and stuff like that. And just learning how to love yourself, because, you know, me not having a dad, my dad not, well, I had a dad, but me and my dad not having the best relationship, looking for love in all the wrong places. It's okay, like, to get to a place, you have to get to a place and you have to stop. And until you learn how to love yourself, no one else would ever love you like you love yourself. So self-love goes so far. Like, to me, I feel like self-love is the main component of life. Like, it goes like for your jobs and everything. Like, because if you have self-love for yourself, you're not gonna just settle for anything when somebody try to pay you. You're like, no, I'm worth more than, you know, $7.25 hour or whatever the case may be, or I'm worth more than this position. You know, self-love, it goes way out. So if I have to leave something, I would definitely say, ladies, self-love goes so far. Love yourself, because no one does you better than you. Okay, ladies? So, ladies, I'm so glad that you guys just came and shared your stories. I hope that your stories can be a blessing to someone else. And also, this show was sponsored by Shamara Functions with Endeavor's Cloud Consultant. If it wasn't for them, this show would not be possible. So from high heels and distance to you guys, I would like to thank you so much. Till next time, see you soon. Remember, we got you.